Welcome to Thoughtfully Us, the space where three therapists of color sit down to talk about mental health, real life, and the human side of healing. We're colleagues, friends, and licensed therapists. And so in this podcast, we're pulling back the curtain on not just therapy, but on being people of color in this field and on the parts of life we don't always get to process in the therapy room. So whether you're in therapy, thinking about it, or just trying to make sense of your own healing journey, we're so glad you're here. A quick disclaimer is that this podcast is for informational purposes only. It is not a substitute for therapy, medical advice, or diagnosis. Listening to this podcast does not create a therapeutic relationship with any of the hosts. Tease up for Thoughtfully Us.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey guys.
I said we should write a song like, hey. Like,
We need like an intro. And we have an intro song.
Like a
Well,
second intro.
Yeah. Like a chant. Or a cheer.
first of all, that just reminded me of the amount of texts I get. Well, a lot of people say this, but nobody says it as much as my sister-in-law. I'm throwing my tea up on the way home, and that means she's
Aww.
listening to the episode.
Oh.
And I just love this, that where people are catching on to throwing the tea up.
So sweet.
And I can tell when she uses like dictate or something because it will say like throwing the TEA up.
Oh, yeah. I thought
like-
you meant as like tea.
No.
Nine.
She's like, I can't wait to throw my tea up on the way home. I'm like, yes.
Wow, the influence. I love
Love
it.
it.
So we're
So-
throwing our teas up today
Mm-hmm.
to talk about, first and foremost, the most important tea, TSIP.
Which means the summer I turned pretty.
Dramatic pause for effect.
Not online. So yes, first off, these are book series that were
Yes.
turned into a show on Amazon Prime Video. And we're getting a movie, which is so exciting. And it'd be weird to see it on the big screen instead of being on my couch, but I guess I could still watch it on my couch
For sure.
as a movie if it comes out on Amazon.
For sure. Especially because, like, I'm not a rewatcher. It's a one and done for me. But I have rewatched that last episode many times now.
Which
so we
means-
will be.
Just kidding. That's good.
We keep this podcast PG. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, it's PG.
I just need to go to Paris now.
Yes.
I don't need to go to Paris. I need to go to wherever Conrad Fisher is. Could be in a dumpster. I'll be there.
What?
I will be there. You will find me there.
We will find.
Ugh, what a
I-
great finale.
I was convinced that she was gonna end it with Conrad like going to Fisher to Paris, and we would have to like assume from there what happened.
Mhm.
Or like we see him in Paris and then like that's the end of the
Yeah.
we see him get to Paris and then we just don't know what happens from there. So the fact that we got the full
I know.
everything,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like
Crazy. Natalie literally would ask, did they get together? Or is Conrad in the episode?
Mm-hmm.
And that's how she would watch. Or she wouldn't watch.
and then when there was like the second to last episode was like a little, we were like getting too close to the end. I was like, I'm not gonna waste my time. Like TV is rare for me,
Mm-hmm.
a baby, and I was like, I'm not wasting my time with this if they're not gonna end up together. And
What is the point?
Patience. Good things
Maya.
take time.
then our friend Caitlin would be like,
Mm-hmm.
Watch it.
watch it. And I was like, no, not until I know this for sure.
We needed confirmation.
So you best believe when Maya watched it, I was blowing up her phone. Are they together? Did they get together? What's happening?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they
Not
ruined it for me. Hold up. They ruined it for me because I couldn't watch till later in the day. But I figured they would.
We put it in invisible text.
Yeah, we did. We said don't read these.
Well, I missed that part.
So would we say that overall we're content with the ending?
Yeah.
Yes.
Did I think it was a little rushed? Yes.
There's so many storylines.
I know.
Like Lucinda, what's going on with her? Belly's parents? Like, are they getting back together? Like, what's happening there? Like, there's
Maya's
so much.
chocolate raspberry cake, whatever that he made.
Oh,
he could have made for
Jeremiah.
himself.
I thought you said Maya. I was
I
like,
heard
what?
Maya.
Maya.
I was
He
like,
could have
Maya
made for
made
himself the whole time.
Yep.
But yeah.
Yeah, how did he become a chef at the end?
I know. It was so
Oh.
random. I'm like, oh, they should have showed him like cooking throughout
Mm-hmm.
the show.
Whatever. I say it was 10 out of 10, no notes. But maybe less Jeremiah.
I'm also fully convinced the movie's coming out this Christmas, and
I know.
Nelly
Maya's
is.
Sofa.
And
December
Frank Bullen
2025. I
also
saw
is.
it too. I saw it. Do I have a source? No, but I saw it. I saw it with my eyes. 2025.
2025.
We'll see.
We also like, I think, kind of weigh the idea of bringing up like current events to a point, but I think our topic today kind of brushes on certain things too. So we'll just kind of see how our conversation goes. And listeners, if there's any more to this topic that you want to add or have questions about, definitely let us know.
Here we go.
Good segue.
But
We thought about the topic, the invisible labor that we all do, and especially as therapists of color. I think in our current climate, we do a lot of invisible labor, whether that's educating or managing emotions in a scary, scary time. And so when certain things happen in our world, oftentimes therapy is a place where people are talking about this. And we welcome that and we love that.
Yeah.
And sometimes people are sharing and talking about beliefs that are inherently hurtful to ourselves and identities that we hold, that are harmful. And like, what do we do when that happens? Because as we've always said, we are therapists, yes, but we are humans first.
Yes.
So we're tired.
Can't see the bags under our eyes. We are tired.
yes. These are trying times. Truly.
Really.
I will say there was parts of the year, or maybe last year, where I felt like I didn't have too much of the outside world reflected in sessions. And I think that was because the focus is disordered eating. And I don't know, it just wasn't the same. Like I remember talking to you guys, I think, or therapists or my own therapist about certain current events and how they were getting a lot of like, you know, that anxiety, that sadness, frustration, you know, or happiness too, you know. And so I think I was marked safe from it for a while. But I would say in the last like month or two, I feel like there has been more of a transition of like those things coming in. Like this is causing me really intense stress, anxiety, worry, again, some of these big emotions that of course make everything else harder. So I feel like I have now more often than not had to kind of keep up myself with like what's going on for various groups of people, and how different, you know, ideas, conversations, laws impact people as well.
Yeah. We have to be informed. And we live so close to the White House, to DC, where a lot of things have been taking place. So I'm like, we kind of have to know what's going on because it impacts most of our clients, either if they work there or a
Yeah.
family there, or, it spreads throughout. So,
It's also like a part of our code of ethics as social workers, and
it is.
that there's a lot of debate in the therapy world about like therapy is not political, it's not a political space.
Mhm.
And that is not really the case for social workers. Therapy is, it is a political situation, and the policies that are occurring do have firsthand impacts on us
Mhm.
as therapists and our clients. I specialize in trauma, and so a lot of the policies and changes that have been occurring over the years are direct hits to things that our populations I'm working with go through, along with like traumas of like racial trauma. And
Yeah.
Mhm.
it has been tough out here. We are working in overtime. And I think
Mhm.
it goes back to what we have talked about in the past about like collective trauma, and how we as therapists have to navigate supporting clients as they're sharing like thoughts and feelings about very valid thoughts and feelings about our world, while we're trying to navigate our own thoughts and feelings about the world.
I feel like it's good that we mention it as the invisible labor, because it is like, but I do think it might be a little bit more visible each day
Mm-hmm.
too. But for a while, again, in different like work environments, I think it was easy for me to like leave work at work. But I feel like more recently, it is harder because I
Mhm.
do, we are sympathetic. We are, you know, trying to just understand, and there's populations of clients I work with where I won't understand. I'm just trying to support and ask them, what they need. And so it is hard sometimes to just feel like I'll see something maybe online in the news headlines, and I'll, kind of think of certain populations. I'm like, "Ugh," here we
Mm-hmm.
go, that kind of thing. So it is hard, I feel like, to navigate it. I would say maybe using support. So like my co-host and our other friends or family, just to support and have like a sounding board as well.
Mhm. And they're like our own therapists, or
Mm-hmm.
other good supports. Um, but also, I think, did we talk about this last episode? I think taking a break sometimes and shutting off
Mm.
the news, or distancing yourself from it, like not avoiding it because we don't want to avoid, but just knowing when your limit, or you're at your capacity, the news you can take in and what you're viewing and seeing, especially with phones. Because I saw a great quote, and maybe I'll post it on our Instagram if I find it again. But something like, humans were never meant to absorb this much information like 24/7. And it
Mhm.
has done and will continue to do a lot of things to just our nervous system that will be so impactful and scary. So I think taking breaks, unfollowing certain people or news outlets if you just need that time away, I think those are ways that have helped me a lot.
For sure. Yeah, I think finding what feels like good to you
Mhm.
about, or what feels sustainable. Like, I don't know, what feels good to me and what feels sustainable, like, don't always align. Like I used to be posting on my Instagram stories all the time about like my thoughts and feelings, and I feel like I stopped in like the recent year because I had a lot of personal things happening. And then when I stopped, I like noticed that things felt like clearer for me, and
Mhm.
less like fighting with people on the internet. And I was like,
Yeah.
wait, this is really nice. And then I'm like managing my own privilege in that like I have the privilege to stop posting about something and still be okay. And
Mhm.
so there's a cycle there. I think definitely coping is that our group chats are popping off these days. But I think there's, again, like, strength in that too, like, of times when I'm like, I can't listen to this announcement or like this thing, and somebody give a recap, and then like somebody does, and like that's really helpful. So I guess just really leaning on community support system. But it is tough out here.
So tough. So
And
tough.
it's all invisible. Like, you have no idea what type of session you've just come from when you're going into another one or a meeting with a colleague. I think, like, ideally it would be great if we could, like, especially in meetings with colleagues, not therapy sessions, but like just kind of recenter and refocus before diving into something. But this goes back to like our caseloads and our workload. That's often not the case. And that mental switch of like having to turn, like, coming from something that's really hard or challenging, or a place where we wanted to be supportive of a client, but potentially like maybe things that they were sharing could have been harmful to us, like going from that to then the next thing, that's like not natural either, right? Like, it's just not, we're not made for that. And the amount of compartmentalizing we have to do that, it's a lot. It also leads me to thinking about something that like really threw me off the first couple of years of being a therapist, which was that, like, in these big community settings, sometimes there's not enough like protection of therapists, or like whether that be like emotionally, mentally, physically, like, and it's like, I remember like I would get screamed at a lot, and I was like genuinely wondering, like, where is the line, right? Like, where is the line between accepting that and like managing that? And so so it just makes me think about, like, again, in these situations, like, where is the line when you're working with someone who's racist, or where is the line when you're working with somebody? So like, it's just very tricky, and I don't understand why we don't have like a set of guidelines around that. Like, obviously there's not some like checklist we could follow, because situations are so much more nuanced than that. And I'm like, why didn't we ever talk about any of this stuff?
I know. Yeah.
Could have
things do we talk about?
A lot of things that we don't talk about.
I remember one of my early jobs, there was a lady who was racist, like verbally, like not verbally, just outwardly racist, and would say the craziest stuff to her clinicians, and she bounced around to a few. But I was like, at what point do we say this just isn't gonna work? And like, I know we're supposed to never, I guess that's why therapy being political is like such a debated topic, because it's like we should be working with anyone regardless of their background and their beliefs and all that, which is true, but I think to an extent, because the fact that this lady could just say these things, not be held accountable, or she was held accountable, she would freak out and then report to management, all these things. Like, where's the line? Kind of like Nellie was talking about, like, where's the protection? Like, why would I put myself in that position to work with someone who doesn't value or see me? Or if they do see me and clearly don't like me because of the color of my skin, why would I still have to work with someone like that? So I think that's where like a lot of things just don't make sense from what other types of professionals say. But I feel like throughout this last year or two, I feel like the social work board and the national organizations, like, they've released statements and they explain their stance. And like, we're here to help. We're here to work with people. And at the core of social work is fighting and dismantling systems that have kept people stuck and oppressed them. And I love that that's just like that's the fact. And so whenever I'm like torn or I'm exhausted or burnt out dealing with the world or dealing with like certain people, I remember that. So at the end of the day, that's where like I'm gonna always go back to is that professional like principle of dismantling systems.
Yeah, and I've been loving like the releasing of those statements because like acknowledging also that social work has been like working within these like sometimes inherently racist systems and has perpetuated that. We've seen that a lot with like CPS and DHS and things like that. And so we've come a long way. We have a long ways to go, but like it is really important to see them kind of recognize that. And I was happy that that was something that like was topics of conversation when we were in grad school of like
Yeah,
a social worker's role and how much social work, the profession, has traumatized families.
yeah. Just when you hear social worker,
Yeah.
think of CPS. It's like, oh, they're gonna take the kids away, blah blah blah. It's like, no, maybe that's what it was at a time when they were just not like on the same page as where they are now. Can't put into words, but that's not where the profession is anymore.
It's like it's not where it should be, but like it's
Should
still
never been.
it should have never been there. And it's
Yeah.
not where it shouldn't be there now, but it
Right.
still is sometimes. And like
Sometimes there, yeah, for
much less
sure.
than before, but it still is sometimes. And like that fear of even just the sometimes is terrifying to families because it's a chance. Even it doesn't matter like where that chance is at, it's still a chance, and that's so scary. So it's a lot of I think there's a lot of that, like that dance that you do too with clients where you're like they're trying to figure out who you like how you are and especially newer clients like you're trying to figure out where they're at, right? So it's a lot of like invisible stuff and dynamics and labor, and it's a lot happening there.
Yeah.
But that's why like I feel like it should I always like ask during intake, is there any like cultural like I think a lot of people ask about like religious or spiritual beliefs, but and like cultural beliefs, and then I specifically I'm like, and anything else that like you want your therapist to know about you that's important for you. And I ask that for those moments so that like and an opportunity for them to ask me questions. And I think that goes back to self-disclosure that we've talked about before of like we are taught self-disclosure bad, like but it's much more nuanced than that. And sometimes like you need your therapist to be like, guys, I'm going here. But maybe you need your therapist to be like, no, I didn't vote for Donald Trump, right? Like that is not a choice I made. So
yeah.
do you guys feel like we got enough warning or guidance? Like, did that surprise?
Maya's answered
Actually, yes,
so
maybe.
quick.
We said, okay. Maya said no. Yes, maybe. So all three.
I have been recently telling clients like we really couldn't have foreseen all of the things that are happening. Like there's actually a lot. Like COVID was one thing, and we're still, and we will for a long time, I think, face the aftermath of COVID, just let alone the rates of anxiety and that kind of stuff. But everything going on politically, I can't even wrap my head around it. Because I think, no one can prepare for all of these things, like working with, people whose research got cut or government workers who, were laid off and like all of these things, this like fear, I think is the biggest thing. And it doesn't really matter like who you voted for or what, group, race you are. I think it's certain also occupations of people, like it kind of impacts everyone at this point. So I think No, I was not prepared to deal with it. So it's hard because I think it's, I think clients do get frustrated around like trying to do what they can on their own to heal and process, but you can only process so much. And like Morgan said earlier, we're getting so much information on a daily basis. So it is hard to really process and I think express, but maybe the way we were taught that clients should.
But I will say, in our program, I feel like it's universal now in different programs like counseling too. We had classes specifically tailored towards us having the tough conversations about race, privilege, oppression. There's another word in the acronym I can't remember right now. But like we had, like those were mandatory. Like you had to take them and you had to understand how those things shape our world and how they've shaped history and the systems at play. So I feel like when it comes to certain conversations about those things, I feel like school did prepare us for that. And also just all of us being women of color, like those are conversations we've had, at least I can say, since we were young. So it's not new when it was really new for a lot of the people at school with us. Like that was the first time they'd ever had to talk about any of that, which was telling. And one day we will talk about that. Our collective healing.
We're slowly unraveling.
We are.
We are. It's hard to talk about. There was a lot that took place.
It's a lot. And I think we're starting by like having this conversation today about like just current world stuff and where we're at with that. But yeah, I think, did you feel like, or I won't put you on the spot, I enjoyed those conversations.
Yeah.
And I also felt like oftentimes, like you said, Morgan, like that was the first time a lot of people were having those conversations and it wasn't for a lot of other people. And so it led to like us paying, me. I feel like I was paying money to be in a class that educated other people on like potentially some of my lived experiences. And I was kind of like, I took out loans for this. Like,
we paid for this. There was one time, and I'll talk about this more. I feel like I processed it, but there was one time where my teacher literally couldn't talk. Like the class was so heated about a privilege thing, and I literally took over the class and started teaching and like consoling both sides because our teacher just didn't know what to do. So in that regard, yeah, it was annoying. It felt like stuff we already knew. It felt like we were doing a lot of the educating and the tailoring and consoling, and that's not our job. It never is. But I think from those experiences, realizing just how different people grow up.
We have to pause. We have to pause because Maya's
cracking up in the corner.
Maya copes by laughing
because it's like these stories, we should do them. I just don't even know how to begin to do them because we had to go through so much. My classes, oh my gosh, I cannot.
Well, you can just, we can be vague about like the people.
Oh, so anyway, sorry.
Like people
have no idea.
People say like that I don't even, I'm saying it. People like saying that they like understood racism because they had a family member who was part of the KKK. So like they got it. They got it.
Know what it meant.
I knew.
Yeah, they knew what it meant, even though they hadn't had a personal experience with it, because they'd seen other people do it.
I was gonna bring up this particular story, and
please cut this out
because I think people, this could be like we could do like a grad school myth, social work school. I think people think social work school is like, oh, everyone has the same views. You guys are all like in harmony, kumbaya, whatever. No,
We're gonna put that
we were not. There were
No.
people of varying degrees, fights, like
fights. We would
heated
fight.
arguments,
Yep.
Tears.
tears, and a lot of just processing
Racism.
individually, and a lot of discrimination,
It was
racism.
crazy from professors and students.
Truly. And I think that is a piece right there of that so many people think like, oh, okay, if you're going into social work, you're going in with like a certain level of agreement on certain topics. And that is not the case at all. That threw me so much. I was like sitting in our classes being like, wait, why are you here? Like, you don't, like, this is a choice. Like, you can take a different profession. Not like, don't do social work then if this isn't what if this is how you feel, why would you do social work? But a lot of people, social work is also like a way to practice therapy within a few years. And I realized through our graduate school program that that's often the focus for people.
Yeah, they just want the degree to practice. Could care less about the actual work and the mission.
But one good part of it all was that collective trauma bonds, and that's how you guys got fully us.
So we all met.
Tease up for the trauma bonding we did together.
Therapists, we're heroes right now, holding space for clients and ourselves while watching the world almost feels like burn. But I will say, there's things we'll continue to talk about, ways you can take care of yourself. So we can keep showing up, which is all that really matters at the end of the day. It's how we take care of ourselves for being human.
So if you're a therapist, know that we see and hear you.
Yes, we do.
And if you are not a therapist listening, reminder that we're just humans doing our best.
Yeah, we're trying out here. And so my this or that for you all is because my glasses keep falling down, if you all can tell. They're like 3 years old. I know. So my this or that is, I guess this or that. Glasses or contacts?
Morgan. This is a loaded question.
Oh.
Contacts.
Because each has their time and place. As someone with horrible astigmatism, I need both. Both give me headaches, and both don't do the job. So, yes, because everything, at night, if it's nighttime, because astigmatism. But both are needed. But if we're talking about like on the daily, contacts. Once they're in, they're in. Don't have to worry about them sliding down my face or like being too tight on my head.
Or being dirty.
Yeah. Maya?
Contacts.
Like Maya answered first. You said contacts with the quickness.
Oh, I didn't even hear it.
Wait, has Maya wore glasses on this podcast?
No.
I guess not.
I haven't worn my contacts yet. Because I'm lazy.
Maybe we'll switch next time.
Part 2, though, is would you rather have to wear your contacts every day for a month without taking them out?
Yes.
They're just in there.
Yeah.
Or would you rather have glasses that were just blurry, like dirty, lenses that were just dirty all the time for a month?
Contacts without taking them out. They're only going to bother you like a little bit here and there. Blurry glasses, you can't see.
Not blurry, just dirty lenses.
Can you wipe them?
Yeah, but they'll just always be dirty.
Girl.
Are these lived experience questions or just like this or that?
I thought Maya would say glasses because when you sleep
Why?
with contacts, you don't like that. You're not supposed to sleep in them, by the way,
supposed to
to
sleep in
people out there.
I would still pick contacts.
Maya pushes. Shout out to Maya's eye doctor.
I know. I hope Maya's eye doctor is listening.
Yes, Maya's been through a lot with eye injuries.
Mm-hmm.
One time resulting in a trip to
Urgent care.
care, which I kind of messed up on because she could barely see out of one eye, and I was like, "You have to go to urgent care. This is not good. Let's go." But I was scared of driving at that point, so I still made her drive.
Yeah.
Why do I kind of remember that happening?
Marked safe from that event.
That's so funny. Well, okay. I'll ask the viewers and the listeners. Glasses or contacts? 4 eyes either way.
Okay.
Solid.
Well, listeners, if you listened and you are feeling the weight of the world around us, know that we are here. We see you. We feel some of it too. And damn.
Save up.
I bet you thought I was going to say, and take care of yourself.
No, I was
But like, just damn.
yeah.
But
We're
we're
together.
here.
We're here, and we're thoughtfully us.
Tease up.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much for joining us for today's conversation. We hope you felt seen, supported, and maybe even laughed a little along the way. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe to the podcast so you never miss a new one. And we'd love it if you left us a rating or review. It really helps more people find us. You can also connect with us on Instagram at thoughtfully_us and let us know what you want to hear about next. And remember, while we're therapists, this podcast is not a substitute for therapy. If you're struggling, please reach out for support from a mental health professional in your area. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.